Peter Greenberg's live global travel update is presented to you by it'seasy.com passport and visa services.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday, wherever you happen to be. Welcome back to our global travel update. Where am I? I'm in Cologne, Germany, at the headquarters of Remova, one of the premier luggage manufacturers in the world. I came to tour the plant, check out their whole process here. It's fascinating. Let's hear it for German engineering, but that's an entire separate story for what we're going to be shooting for our travel update on the Travel Detective on PBS. More on that later. We have too much to talk about in the news. Let's get to it. Of course, you can always stream in your questions for me. You know how to do it, and I'll be answering those throughout the program. First and foremost, the fallout from the bank failures is continuing to hit the travel industry. Demand is softening, as I said it would. It's one thing to have a disruptive event anywhere that usually hits demand, but when it hits your pocketbook or the perceived safety and security of your money, then it's disruptive to discretionary spending, and that's where travel comes in. We're starting to see that demand soften across the board, and what that means is you're going to start seeing some airfares and hotel rates continue to drop. They started dropping last week. They're going to continue to do so. How much they're going to drop is anybody's guess, but one thing is happening. We're now starting to see some availability in frequent flyer award tickets. They've not been available really for much of the whole year, and now they're starting to show up. So now's the time for you to strike if you want to redeem those awards, especially since the airlines have no hesitation whatsoever in upping the ante in terms of the number of miles you're going to need to redeem. They keep on raising those levels as well, but at least we have some availability now. So think about 330 days out and don't wait. All right. Because remember, the airlines can devalue these miles by the hour, and they tend to do that. There's a brewing battle across the North Atlantic for paid tickets, as we see JetBlue now flying to Paris, and we see other airlines like Norse and Play and others increase their frequency across the pond. You'll see some great deals. Remember when Norse started their flights from Gatwick to New York? Guess what? $318 round trip. The introductory fares from New York to Paris on JetBlue are about $459 round trip. That's a great deal. So check those out. But now let's talk about what's going on in the rest of the world, not too far from us in France. The demonstrations against Macron in Paris, what's going on in Israel, the demonstrations in the streets there, and of course the residual effects of the deaths of 2 Americans in Mexico. The U.S. State Department, has issued those warnings for people not to go to Mexico to certain areas, those level 4 warnings. But it's interesting to note what the U.S. State Department hasn't done. Even though there were thousands of people in the streets in Paris protesting Macron's attempt to raise the retirement age by 2 years, the U.S. State Department did not do anything. The last time the U.S. State Department had a warning was back in October of last year, where they raised the level from a level 1, which means travel with normal caution. I still have no idea what that means, to a level 2, travel with increased caution. I have no idea what that means. But anyway, it wouldn't stop me from going to Paris right now, and it certainly wouldn't stop me from going to Israel right now, and it certainly wouldn't stop me from going to the other 29 states in Mexico that don't have a level 4 warning right now. My suggestion to all of you is to always get a second opinion, not just mine, not just the State Department's. Go to the British Foreign Office, see what they're saying to their own citizens about where they should and shouldn't go, and it might surprise you. I've said this before, I will say it again. If we use the metrics the State Department uses to do warnings for foreign governments or foreign travel to those foreign countries, and we applied those same metrics to the 50 United States, most of you would not want to even leave your own homes. You'd be so afraid. So put that into perspective, and then let's get commonsensical for a change. Speaking of commonsensical for a change, I know it's not on the front pages anymore, but it's on my front page. Turkey still needs your help after the devastating earthquakes. Please go to our website, petergreenberg.com, for a comprehensive list of the aid and relief organizations doing the important work, boots on the ground in Turkey, getting the aid, relief, and equipment and supplies where it's needed the most. They do need your help. They also need your help in terms of your pocketbook in other ways. Remember, the rest of Turkey is not closed. Istanbul is open. Western Turkey is open. The Mediterranean is open, and it's a great time of the year to go. why don't you invest your dollars and have a great experience? You'll be helping them because their economy was already in trouble before the earthquake really devastated things. We're still dealing with millions, you heard me, millions of homeless people. They need our help. Please go to our website again, petergreenberg.com. I will be talking about this for weeks to come, but I know they will appreciate anything and everything you can do. All right, now let's go to a couple of funny things I wanted to share with you. This got my attention, so I'm going to post it right now and look at it carefully. It's, everybody goes out and gets maps. We're all addicted to Google Maps when we want to go somewhere. Well, how about famous lyrics from famous songs as to how to get there? Take a look at that, right? You want to go to Georgia? You take a midnight train. Just go down that list. It's hysterical. I hope you'll find it as funny as I did. There's some funny stuff in there. And maybe if we followed that, we'd also get to where we need to go, right? Think about it. All right, moving around from other stuff. Let's scroll down and say hello to some folks. All right, let me go down here and scroll up. Excuse me. Hello to Harriet and Jim in Richmond, Virginia. Atchison, Kansas. Willie's weighing in. And Katrina's saying hello from Alabama. Paul's saying greetings from Ashland, Virginia. Is the French Riviera overrated? No, it's overpriced, but it's not overrated. There's a good time of year to go. You want to go in May or September. Don't go to the French Riviera when it coincides with the Cannes Film Festival. But other than that, go in May. It's not crowded. Go in September. That's the magic month in the Mediterranean. I kid you not. You will not be disappointed. I make a point of going there at least twice a year. No, I'm not doing remember the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels movie with Steve Martin and Michael Caine? Not doing that movie, but trying to enjoy a wonderful experience without having to mortgage the entire house in the process. Okay, let's keep going down here. All right, Colin says, hello from San Francisco. With gale force winds so strong, they suspended the Transbay ferry service. Wow, that's rough out there in San Francisco. And everyone gets a shot at playing Mary Poppins for the day. Yeah, how many umbrella sales have happened since all the other umbrellas broke? Camilla, hello from Tucson. And Nancy's saying hi from Turnbridge, Vermont. Gene, hi from Tulsa. By the way, I gotta give a shout out to a show on television that I never thought was any good. I didn't want to watch it. It's on Paramount Plus. We've done a television special in Tulsa. You can see it on Travel Detective. It's on Amazon now and Apple TV Plus and on PBS. So I'm always, I love Tulsa, but I was scrolling in Paramount Plus to see what I was going to watch one night on a late night flight to see what I could download. And there was this show starring Sylvester Stallone. I'm saying, oh, it's got to be a piece of junk. Oh, I don't want, Rocky, Well, I downloaded it just for, giggles. And I have to tell you, it's brilliant. It's Tulsa King. So, Gene, if you haven't looked at it yet, anybody else, check it out. It's worth it. All right, Sue says hi from Bellingham, Washington. Gail saying hi from Pennsylvania. It's finally feeling like spring here. Cologne is on my list of cities I would like to visit someday. You know what? You should. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And by the way, when you say it's finally feeling like spring, I'm worried because I'll tell you why I'm worried. In New York, we've had no snow this year. I mean, the seasons are turned upside down. I fully expect that in April, we'll be cross-country skiing up Madison Avenue. I mean, so be sure to use the word spring cautiously. Mother Nature, I think, is not done with us yet for this year. All right, let's keep going here. Zora is saying, hey, hello. I see that note. Wendy's, hello from New Jersey. Hello, Wendy. And Brenda Lee, good day from Southern Wisconsin. I know Southern Wisconsin so well. All right, Nancy says, what is the status of renewing passports online? It's on hold. The State Department tested it. It didn't really work. And they basically jettisoned it until next year. If you're watching me right now and you have a passport with less than 6 months of validity, or you have a passport with less than 2 free pages on it, you know what? Or you don't have a passport at all, shame on you. You better go do it now. You better go apply now or renew it now. The wait list at passport offices can be as much as 12 weeks. Now, they'll tell you it's not, even for the expedited services, and there have been some exceptions to that. But guess what? With rampant travel demand coming back last year, those passport agency offices are still overwhelmed. We're already in March. And if you're dealing with a 12-week wait, that means you don't get to travel till the middle of summer. So when we're finished talking today, go renew or apply for it now. Do not wait. Okay. Hello, Iris, and thank you for writing in. Okay. Oh, Kurt loved the funny movie. Okay, there we go. Kurt says, hi from Orlando, Florida. It's hot here already. Okay, good enough for that. Let me tell you a few more things while we're at it. There are no more seasons anymore. Seasonality is off the table. By the way, which works in your favor because you can go places in the off season. Let's discuss the term off season. How did that start? I'm convinced the off season was started by a bunch of escaped garmentos from Queens who were freezing their you-know-whats off in February and said, let's go somewhere warm. And all of a sudden, it became high season in the Caribbean. Well, I'm a big off-season fan, right? I want to go when nobody else wants to go. Why? Because I don't have to stand in line. I get to see a place the way it's meant to be seen. The people there are thrilled to see me. I get better service. It's not as expensive. What's wrong with all that? So, guys, don't worry about high season. Worry about off season and do that. The problem right now is, as seasonality is starting to disappear, it's a 12-month season now, and it's being priced accordingly. So it's time to be strategic because it's tough. It's very, very tough to get around that. Oh, one more thing. Does anybody here know the definition of the word schnorrer? All right. For those of you who think you know, or for those of you who don't know, I'm going to tell you a story that's going to lead into a true story that defines the word schnorrer. Here we go. This is the fictitious story, but it proves the point of what a schnorrer is. It's a beautiful summer day. Everybody's out on the beach with their kids, and a mother's on the beach with her 4-year-old son. And for just a split second, she takes her eyes off him. And the next thing you know, she hears the alarm whistles being blown by the lifeguards. He's being swept out to sea. And everybody's gathered at the water's edge. Oh my God, there they go, the lifeguards. They're racing into the water to try to save him. He's getting pulled out further and further and further. People are holding their breath. Oh my goodness, oh my God. And then the lifeguards die. He goes underwater. The lifeguards dive down with a buoy. And they get the body, they bring up this lifeless body on the beach, and everybody stands around as the lifeguards lay him down, this little kid, and they're doing all the compressions and the mouth-to-mouth. And suddenly the kid coughs up all this water. He's alive. And everybody's just so thrilled. It's remarkable. And the mother says, he had a hat. That is a schnorrer, right? Tripping over dollars to get nickels. Not getting the point. All right. Now, that's the fictitious story. Now I'm going to tell you the real story. This just happened, comes under the category of you can't make this up. All right. A woman is flying on a British Airways flight. And in the middle of the flight, the passenger in front of her collapses, right? Passes out. They ask if there's a doctor on board. There are. They all gather in the seat in front of her, and they're really trying to save this guy's life. They're doing CPR. It was a woman passenger. And because there's a big crowd there, and it happened in the middle of the flight, everything else comes to a stop. The flight attendants can't exactly do the meal service. They can't get the carts in the aisle because there are people there trying to save someone's life. Fair enough? Okay. Well, as it turned out, they never got around to serving the second meal service on the flight. And this woman is bitching because she wants compensation for British Airways for her inconvenience that she didn't receive her second meal. Repeat after me. Are you kidding? You know, when we think about all the times that the airlines are either idiots or arrogant or stupid or mean, or inconsiderate, or not empathetic. And that's a lot of times. This is the one time nobody gets to dump on British Airways. And if they cave in and give her compensation, I can't wait to serve her second meal. This is way beyond the scope of human behavior. They try to save the life of the person in front of you, and you didn't get your second meal, which, by the way, considering the food on airplanes these days, could kill you anyway. All right, I'm done with that one. But I had to just share that with you because that qualifies under the term of schnorrer. Big, big schnorrer. Okay, now let's turn to some happy news. The World Happiness Report is out for 2023. Which countries do you think are the happiest? Some of this might surprise you, some of it wouldn't. The number one happiest country in the world is, fake drum roll, Finland. Guess what country is number 2 for being happy? Denmark. Number 3, Iceland. Number 5, the Netherlands. Number 6, Sweden. Number 7, Norway. Number 8, Switzerland. Number 9, Luxembourg. And number 10, New Zealand. You may have noticed I missed number 4 because that's a surprise. It's Israel. Look, I love Israel. We've done our television specials there, as you know. We go back all the time. But if someone were to say to me, could I just name the happiest countries in the world? Israel wouldn't be on the list. Most of my friends who live in Israel, they major in fetching. It's okay. They got on the list. They must be happy about something. I wish them well. I'm surprised. All right. Now, where does the U.S. fit on the list? We're number 15 of being happy. You know what that means? The only people who are happy at number 15 means we're in therapy. We're followed by Germany, where I am now, Belgium, the Czech Republic, the United Kingdom, and Lithuania for a happy country. So there you have that one. All right. Now, you may have noticed I asked you to come in with your ideas of the favorite food. This is our question for the week. The favorite food you discovered when you were traveling that has now become your favorite food, right? So everybody came in with something. Michael said fresh pineapple. Okay. Not the most original idea, but I'm glad you discovered pineapple. Okay. Teresa said olive ascalan, stuffed olives. Marlene said, I cannot remember the name of the bakery we found when we got off the cruise ship in Key West, Florida, but they had the best key lime pie. Well, they better have the best key lime pie in Key West because that's what they're known for. There you go. Key lime pie in Key West. Catherine says, anything Celebrity Cruise Line chef Michael Roux, or Michelle Roux, I should say, created on board as their specialty restaurants. And she mentioned that Michelle Roux passed away about 3 years ago. He did. Linda says, paella, cooked by a wonderful worker in Spain where we lived. Okay. Now we're getting close to me. Robin says, pommes frites with mayonnaise in Germany. Yes. Or, let's go a little bit next door, pommes frites in Belgium. They know their French fries. Okay. Pamela says, fish tacos at Shaka Tacos in Hawaii. Karen says, the best fish and chips of my life at a mid-range hotel at Heathrow Airport. I can't remember the name of the hotel. Well, then, thanks for sharing. All right. Deborah says, the most perfect corned beef sandwich at Federal Deli in Auckland, New Zealand. You know, when I think about corned beef, I think about a deli in New Zealand. No, I don't. So that's a surprise. When I think about corned beef, I think about, the Stage Deli in New York or the Carnegie Deli in New York, or even, what's the one on I'll think of a second. It's on the west side of 86th Street. I'll get to a second. Okay. Donna says, lasagna alla grotto guelfa in Florence, Italy. It was so good that I went for 2 nights in a row. That'll tell you something. Okay. Alicia says, wow. South Korea bulgogi plate. Now you're being adventurous. And then she said, Southern Germany, Jaeger schnitzel with pommes frites. Okay. Michelle saying the teensy Wendy ice cream cones in Italy. Okay. I love these choices. Okay. Winston says Indian food outside of London. I agree with you. Some of the best Indian food in the world I've had in London. One of my favorite restaurants in London, Indian, just closed. Red Fort on Dean Street. Sorry to see it go. Patrick says lobster at the Jumbo Kingdom, Hong Kong. Wait a minute. Patrick, you're not talking about the old jumbo ship in Hong Kong, are you? You can't be serious. We'll have to discuss that. Tamara says, mango cheesecake at the Shangri-La Hotel in Manila. Yep. Pat says, the squid ink pasta in Venice. I agree. Uh, Katrina Lemley says, toss up between macaron and pain au chocolat. That's, of course, the croissant in Paris. Yeah, but which macaron? Is it going to be, which one? La Durée or Pierre Ami? Go for Pierre Ami. Okay. Wow, we got some Croatian suggestions here. Colleen says the most incredible creamy mushroom soup in Wrocław, Poland, during mushroom season. Of course, with a Polish beer chaser. Why not? Okay, let's see. Sandra says Moroccan tagline. What is this? Moroccan chicken. At the best at the little shop on the road from Marrakesh to Asuria. Okay. All right. Colleen Casey says Slovenia offers a full range of wonderful pescatarian meals, but for dessert, my favorite treat of all time is the Lake Bled cream cake. By the way, a word about Slovenia. I think 1/3 of the Slovenian population are amateur beekeepers. So wherever you go in Slovenia, you can bring back as much honey as you want. Believe me, it's worth it. All right, now I'm going to give you mine. And I'm going to show you a video before I get there. Does anybody here know what kunefe is? It's an unbelievable melted cheese dish that you can find in Jordan. You can find it in Egypt. You can find it in the old city of Jerusalem in Israel. You can find it in Beirut. They're all good. But in Eastern Turkey, which of course just suffered that terrible, terrible earthquake, in the city that suffered the most, Antakya, there is an amazing kunefe place. Run the video. It's called Ceneralta, and it's in the old market area of Antakya. That's the owner, by the way. He doesn't just do that for me. He does it for everybody. I got a chance to actually cook it with him. It was amazing. We have yet to hear back from them. That was shot as part of our Hidden Turkey special that you can still find on Amazon and Apple TV Plus. We've reached out to try to find them to see if they survived the earthquake. Obviously, communication systems are challenged. We hope they did. And I'll get back to you if they, whatever happened, we want to know and want to wish them the best. But what an amazing gastronomic experience. And that was kunefe. And if you ever can find kunefe, go for it. You will not be disappointed. You may need a nap after it, but it's absolutely worth it. All right. Steve is saying the focaccia in Bari, Italy. And Carrie's saying super freshly made halva in, in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Interesting. All right. A bowl of mussels, says John, with a hunk of chewy bread in Coopville on Whidbey Island. All right. We like that. Well, everybody's got that favorite. And by the way, I hope you go back for them. All right. We have one from Helen who says, Dutch croquet with mustard, even from a vending machine. Really? Really? Oh, my goodness. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Wow, this is pretty cool. Yep. Fried bananas with grilled beef. Really? Okay. All right. But anyway, we had fun with that one. And I hope you did too. Now, let's scroll down and say hello to a few more people here. Give me a second here. Danielle says grilled octopus on Thracia Island in Greece. I agree. JJ says I'm planning a trip to Paris this November from DC. Dates are 11/21 to 27. And you haven't told me anything else other than that in your question. So I can't give you an answer. Anthony says fried artichoke hearts in Castroville, California. Isn't that the artichoke capital of California? Like Gilroy is the garlic capital of California? Barney Greengrass, that's it. Thank you, Julie. That's the one where you have the corned beef. That's on 86th in Amsterdam. Well worth it. The place looks like it hasn't been cleaned in about 150 years. We'll call that ambiance. But it's definitely go. My dad used to take me in there to show me the difference between sturgeon and whitefish and lox and sable. And you got to go. Oh, all right. Jim said we were surprised how good the French fries were in Athens, Greece. If you listen, I was in Greece last summer and learned an amazing recipe to make your own best French fries in the world. It takes a lot of time. My wife tried it. She almost succeeded, but they were delicious. You boil the potatoes, and then you know what we'll do on our website. I'm going to ask my wife to do this. We'll post that recipe for the most amazing French fries. If you do it right, you will not be disappointed. It's going to take you some time to do it, and you better make twice as much as you want because you're going to eat twice as much if they come out good. All right. Fresh made donuts. Oh, Gail says fresh made donuts in the train station in Lausanne, Switzerland. Yeah, I get that. Okay. April says greetings from sunny Vegas. All right. Okay, we talked about off-season. Paul says, I went to the Utah National Parks in early November. Beautiful. Hardly anyone was there. I had the parks to myself. Indeed. And by the way, while we're talking about this, Yosemite is now reopening. We've had so many bad weather days in California, but this summer it's expected to be overcrowded again. Let us please celebrate our state parks around the country. They have so much to offer. There's a state park not far from Yosemite that's not that crowded, and you have a great experience. There are state parks. It's amazing how many state parks there are, even in states like Oklahoma. Nobody gets it. They're great. All right. And you're not waiting in line to have an experience. All righty. Mary Jo says, hello from Pennsylvania. Is May a good time to visit Scotland and Ireland? It is. You'll bring a sweater, or better yet, you'll go when you get there, you'll buy a couple of sweaters. But yes, I love May in Scotland and in Ireland. Yes, please do it. Julie says, heading to Portugal in May. Any must visits in Lisbon? Yes, there are. I'll give you some. One is called Je ne sais quoi. It's a little on the pricey side, but you're going to love it. It's on Avenida Libertad. Another one, which I love, if you love fish like I do, is Aqui Pêche, right? Which means, of course, here's where the fish are. And my all-time favorite, for one reason and one reason alone, in Lisbon, is you'll find it in the Time Out building. It's on the second floor. It's called Pop Sorda. And they have great seafood. They have great everything on the menu. But the people who know, and I'm like one of the people who know now, you go there for one thing and one thing only. That's the dessert. If you go to most restaurants and you order chocolate mousse for dessert, it comes out in this little tiny champagne glass with a little tiny spoon, and you're disappointed because the portions are so small. At Pop Sorda, when you order the chocolate mousse, which means be prepared, make room for this, you're suddenly tapped on the shoulder. You're given an empty plate, a big empty plate, and the waiter behind you is holding a ladle this big with a spoon this big, and you know what comes next. More chocolate mousse than you can imagine. And it is the best. So that's my help for you there. All right. Gene wants to know, is September a good time to visit Switzerland? It is. It is. But go in early September because you want to get out on the lakes, especially Lake Lucerne, on the old ships that make stops all up and down the lake. It's so brilliant. All right. Moving around. All right, moving there. I got that. Let me scroll down and get some more here. All right. Any dining suggestions for Dublin? Going back soon. Yes. Go to our website, petergreenberg.com. We'll have them in there. We were just there. As you may know, we were broadcasting our radio show from there a couple of weeks ago. Some amazing dining suggestions in Dublin. The food quality in Ireland has gone from steak and potatoes, or maybe just potatoes, to Michelin star quality and great variety, and you will not be disappointed. All right. Lucando says, greetings from Tanzania. And Danielle says, fried espada in Madeira. Okay, I'm sure you have a port chaser with that. Kimbrough says, quiche at the Louvre Museum restaurant, of all places. Really? You say you were surprised. Me too. Okay. Okay, JJ says his trip from DC to Paris in November can't find a nonstop round trip for under $1,800 or $2,100 premium. That's ridiculous. Nobody goes to Paris on Thanksgiving week. They don't know from Turkey. No. What you want to do is go offline. Look at a company called La Compagnie. I'll make you a bet they're cheaper in business class than what you're being quoted for coach. Look at what JetBlue's doing. They're starting service to Paris like now. So double check, right? Or you might actually find, hear me out, you might actually find some cheaper fares to London. I know you didn't want to go to London. Then take the train, and then come back from Paris by plane. And the reason why I say that is you'll save a lot of money on the ridiculous taxes the British charge you for flying from the United Kingdom. All right? I hope that's helpful. Now I got to tell you something else. This one is, it also comes under the category if you can't make this up. And by the way, I didn't make it up. Every once in a while, a government tourist board, in the best of intentions, or sometimes not, I'll get to you in a second, thinks they're doing the right thing. I remember a couple of years ago, the entire Visit Bermuda campaign, I had to bust them. We found out they shot it in Australia. Excuse me? All right, so that was like not cool, right? And they caught a lot of heat for that. But now, how many of you have been to Canada? How many of you have been to the city or the capital city of the province of Saskatchewan? Do we know what the name of it is? It's Regina, Regina. All right. Remember, I'm cautioning you. I'm only reporting this. Don't kill the messenger, but I think it's pretty funny. So the tourism board there was trying to be cute, right? Now, sometimes when a tourism board tries to be cute, it really comes across as cute and smart, right? You know what the motto is for Nebraska? You know what they came up with? I mean, think about how many mottos there are for tourism boards around the country and around the world that are just stupid or obvious. You know what the motto is for Malta? And they probably hired consultants for millions of dollars to come up with this. Okay, sit down, relax, here it comes. Visit Malta. Wow. Right? Or incredible India. Or Thailand, land of smiles. My dad used to tell me if somebody smiled all the time, they were mentally, incompetent. All right. Hold on to those thoughts. The folks in Regina thought they were being cute too. And it was actually, they had a music video and it's called Experience Regina. And here it comes. And the announcement about their new music video came this following promotional language. Right? Remember, I'm cautioning you. They tried to be cute. Here's one. Show us your Regina. As in rhymes with, you getting it? Okay. And then they tried to do it another euphemistic way. And their other slogan was, the city that rhymes with fun. Well, guess what? Not everybody liked that. So the tourism company there in Canada apologized after sexualizing the Canadian city's name of Regina. I just had to share that with you as a lighter moment today. Now, let's go to our photo of the week. There it is. Anybody want to tell me where that is? I know where that is. I've been down that street. First of all, let's thank the person who shot it, Tamerson Kervin. And Tamerson writes about this shot. It's in Venice. I was only there for 2 nights and it rained the whole time. As we were walking back to our hotel, I turned around and took this picture on my iPhone, one of my favorite photos and vacations of all time. I could live in Italy. A word about Venice, and I'm sure that Tamerson experienced this when Tamerson was there. Somebody once told me this. I don't take credit for this line, but I've used it many times since and gave them credit. Venice is one of those cities where when you walk down the streets, you can hear your footsteps. It's a wonderful sound. You're walking on history. And, we had earlier questions about off-season travel. I can't emphasize enough how you want to go off-season to Venice. You go during the summer months, the Bridge of Sighs is the Bridge of Thighs. Everybody's got a selfie stick, and I have a place where they can put it. But the point is, on a day like today, that when Tamerson took that photograph, How beautiful is that? That's the Venice I love. And if you know the right hotel rooms to stay in, not the right hotels, but the right hotel rooms, you get a little additional bonus of being able to live in history. Okay? And on a subsequent show, I'll tell you about room 306. How about that for a tease? Room 306. So thank you, Tamerson, for that photograph. If you think you've got one that qualifies as the photo of the week, you know exactly what to do. Just email me, peter@petergreenberg.com. And if we like it, we post it. A couple of housekeeping notes here. Hidden Ireland is out. It premiered last Friday. What an appropriate day to premiere on St. Patrick's Day. And here's a little trailer. Or not. But guess what? It did premiere. And if Anthony's...
It is a land forged on the wild frontier between the old and new world, built upon a destiny of freedom and self-determination. Sitting on the westernmost edge of Europe, its lyrical green valleys bordered by soaring coastal cliffsides. It's a small island, but with a large influence, thanks to millions of immigrants who brought their traditions with them across the globe. And while the culture may feel familiar, if you dig past the surface, there's a brave new and old world, an emerald isle with scholars and saints, poets and politicians, stories and those who sing them. Two countries on one island, intertwined in history, mythology, and hope. This is what I came for, a rich land where every step reveals a new surprise, often hiding in plain sight. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is Hidden Ireland.
Well, it premiered last week. Please check your local listings for the PBS station carrying it. If you can't find it there, no problem. Available on Amazon Prime and Apple TV Plus, as well as our show that premiered last month, Hidden Saudi Arabia, also available on Amazon Prime and Apple TV Plus. I'd love to hear what you think about them. We have one coming up next month as well, which we're going to let you know more about next week, called Hidden Aegean. And let me tell you, some interesting hidden spots there that, our mantra is no gift shop, no tour buses, no TripAdvisor stickers, no brochures, no guidebooks. I'm taking you to places that are accessible to you with amazing experiences that you just didn't know about, otherwise known as Hidden Ireland. So I hope you get a chance to watch. A couple of last quick questions here. This one's from Wanda, who says, I'm looking at upcoming travel in June and airfare is already outrageous, flying on Delta from Detroit to Palm Springs. I was holding out thinking rates would go down, but they're ballooning quite rapidly. Who goes to Palm Springs in June? Airfares shouldn't be high. They should be low. Maybe you don't want to fly on Delta. Delta airfares these days are outrageously high. Their frequent flyer redemption levels are ridiculously high. Not trying to dump on Delta, but facts are the facts. You might want to wait about another 2 weeks to see as they seasonally adjust the fares downward. June is not a big travel time to Palm Springs. All right. Here's one from David. Who was the man that made the harps in Hidden Ireland? Oh, David's already seen the show. Just write me, peter@petergreenberg.com, and my team will get you that information. As you may have known, he let me build one as well. Pretty cool. Ann says, do we think we'll start seeing a slowdown in the travel due to the banking crisis? Yes, it's already happening. I talked about that earlier. Okay. Barbara says, what months and countries would you recommend for an African safari to see big cats, elephants, zebra, and giraffes? Well, everybody talks about the big five. You can see the big five in Kenya, of course. But I actually saw the big five in one day in Tanzania. That would be my first choice. In fact, check out our show. What a segue. Hidden Tanzania, not that one, the Royal Tour of Tanzania with the president of Tanzania, Mama Samia, as she takes me, and she took me to see all the big five. She was driving too. So check that out again. It's on Amazon Prime or Apple TV Plus. One more housekeeping note. The reason why we're doing Facebook Live today is because I'm traveling tomorrow. Our radio show this week will be from Las Vegas, so check it out. We've got some surprise guests there I think you'll find quite fascinating. And of course, we'll have all the travel updates coming up out of those bank failures and the increasing challenge on rates based on slowing demand. And hopefully it will become a little bit more of a buyer's market for all the unanticipated and unintended reasons. So everybody have a great time. We'll have more about Remova and my visit here in the production plant on Travel Detective. Have a great rest of your week. Travel safe. And I'll see you on the radio on Saturday. Bye, everybody.
Peter Greenberg's live global travel update is presented to you by it'seasy.com passport and visa services.